If you want to be a king, you must first learn to be alone. Power, clarity, and self-mastery are born in solitude, not in the noise of constant distraction. Most men fear being alone because it forces them to face their thoughts. But true leaders use that silence to sharpen their minds, build their vision, and grow unshakable. In this video, we'll explore why solitude isn't weakness. It's the training ground for kings. Today we will talk about if you want to be a king, you must learn to be alone. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. Solitude is the forge of kingship. To become a king, metaphorically or literally, you must pass through solitude. Great power and leadership require clarity, self-awareness, and emotional independence, and these qualities are only sharpened in the absence of noise. In a world addicted to attention, comfort, and constant connection, learning to be alone is both a rebellion and a rite of passage. When you're alone, there's no mask to wear, no performance to give, just you, your thoughts, and your truth. That is where self-discovery begins. Most people fear silence because it reveals what they've been avoiding. But kings are forged in silence, not applause. They master their emotions, refine their vision, and train their minds without the need for approval. Solitude becomes a crucible for strength. You must learn to enjoy your own company, to think deeply, to lead yourself first. Only then can you lead others. Alone is where boys break or evolve, and where kings begin. 2. Leadership begins with self-mastery. You cannot lead anyone until you can lead yourself. Self-mastery, the ability to control your impulses, manage your emotions, and discipline your mind, is the foundation of kingship, and mastering yourself requires time alone. In solitude, there are no distractions, no scapegoats. You are responsible for your own decisions and emotions. This is where maturity is built. Most people avoid solitude because it forces them to confront their weaknesses. But kings embrace it, using that silence to reflect, refine, and redirect. Every hour spent alone, reading, journaling, training, or meditating, contributes to a stronger internal compass. When you no longer need validation, applause, or company to feel worthy, you become unshakable. A man who cannot be alone is not fit to rule anything, not his time, not his energy, not even his own mind. 3. Great visions are born in isolation. If you look at history, most revolutionary ideas, philosophies, and movements were conceived in solitude. From prophets and emperors to entrepreneurs and artists, every visionary has spent extended periods alone, thinking, writing, strategizing. Why? Because distraction kills vision. The world is noisy, and that noise drowns out your inner voice, the voice of truth, purpose, and originality. In solitude, you gain access to that voice. You begin to question what you've been told, what you really believe, and what you truly want. This clarity is essential for kingship. You can't build a kingdom if you don't know what kind of world you're trying to create. Greatness requires vision, and vision requires deep thought. Time alone is not just rest, it's strategy. It's where the blueprint of your life is drafted. So while others chase trends, kings retreat to solitude to design the future. 4. Solitude strengthens emotional independence. Many men crumble when they lose people, relationships, or approval, because they built their identity on external things. A king cannot afford such fragility. Solitude teaches you emotional independence, the ability to stand firm when others walk away. It teaches you that you are enough as you are. In relationships, business, and life, this makes you powerful. You no longer beg for love, chase validation, or seek constant reassurance. You don't become cold, you become centered. A man who has faced himself in solitude is emotionally unshakable. He doesn't fear being left because he knows how to stay with himself. Solitude teaches you how to self-soothe, to think clearly during chaos, to act from principle, not panic. Most people fear loneliness. Kings use it to become whole. When you no longer need anyone to feel okay, you become a man people want to follow. That's the paradox of power. The more complete you are alone, the more powerful you become with others. 5. Distraction is the enemy of kingship. The average man is constantly stimulated, scrolling, clicking, talking, reacting. But kings know that deep focus is a rare and powerful weapon. Solitude removes distraction and gives you time to focus on your mission. It removes the mental clutter that keeps most people stuck in a fog. Kings use their time alone to read, write, plan, and study. They are intentional. While others waste energy on gossip, drama, and entertainment, the king builds. Every hour spent alone becomes an investment in clarity, wisdom, and output. You must train yourself to be bored without needing stimulation. The man who can sit in silence without reaching for his phone holds an edge over the man who can't go 5 minutes without distraction. Alone time is not emptiness, it is space to create. 6. Weakness is revealed, then strengthened. Solitude doesn't just show you your strengths, it exposes your weaknesses. The insecurities, the old traumas, the lies you tell yourself. These rise to the surface when there's no noise to drown them out. And that's a gift. A king cannot afford blind spots. Alone time forces honesty. It reveals what you still need to heal, what fears control you, and what habits are destroying your potential. Most people run from these realizations. Kings confront them head-on. They face their demons, not with self-pity, but with purpose. This internal confrontation is painful, but leads to growth. Solitude is your mirror. It reflects not just who you are, but who you could become. Every time you sit alone and do the work, whether through journaling, meditation, or painful reflection, you strip away weakness and forge strength. 7. A king does not crave the crowd. One of the most dangerous modern addictions is the need to be seen. Men today crave attention, likes, followers, applause, more than purpose. But kings are not built on public validation. They're built in private. If you need the crowd to feel worthy, you're not ready to wear the crown. The true king is invisible for long seasons. He works in silence, studies in shadows, builds in the dark. And when he finally steps into the light, he brings something real, something earned. Learn to detach from the need to be constantly seen or liked. Not everyone needs to know your every move. Sometimes the greatest flex is privacy. Solitude teaches you to find satisfaction in progress, not praise. It rewires your dopamine from being seen to becoming strong. While others scream for attention, you'll be stacking silent victories. And when you finally speak, the world will listen, because kings speak rarely, but with weight. 8. Relationships improve when you don't depend on them. Ironically, the man who learns to be alone often has the healthiest relationships. Why? Because he doesn't depend on others to fill emotional voids. He brings fullness to the table, not desperation. When you're comfortable in solitude, you become harder to manipulate. You don't stay in toxic relationships out of fear. You don't overextend for approval. You love from strength, not lack. This shifts the entire dynamic. You're no longer chasing, you're choosing. And those you allow into your life sense that difference. They respect you more because you respect yourself. Solitude also gives you perspective. You make better choices when you're not clouded by attachment or peer pressure. You can walk away when needed, not because you're heartless, but because you're whole. Most people settle because they fear being alone. Kings don't. They know their worth, and that makes them magnetic. A king doesn't beg to be loved. He attracts loyalty because he embodies strength. Boom. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.